Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Saturday night here, and I'm having a big Valentine's Day weekend here in the office. So I want to do a video on gold. Let's talk about gold, silver, some commodities, and let's get into some action to see what we got going on next week. I think it could be a pretty big week in these markets. And there's an interesting tweet that was a great, this guy followed David Brady, and he pointed out that in silver, now we're looking at gold right here, but in silver, because of the Green New Deal, it's going to be in very, very high demand because it's a lot of, electric cars, electric batteries, all this thing for green energy. But a big component of those products and those batteries is actually silver. So if that Green New Deal goes through, and it seems like it's not going to happen anytime soon, but it is, right? And when that does, because of all the silver that's in these batteries and products like that, then we could potentially see. Sorry, I got a phone call. We could potentially see some massive moves in silver market. So, but first of all, here's gold. Let's get a long-term view. I haven't really done this in a while. Because especially in my groups, I've been sharing very short-term charts here. And so, it's so important that we don't forget and have a look at these long-term plans and see what's happening in the broad overview of these markets, right? So a big thing, first off, we just got to mark this breakout wedge pattern that happened years ago now. Pretty crazy that it was so long ago. Here is the former all-time high, right? So I'm going to do a couple Fibonacci's here. And this is where we're currently at, the current all-time high that we made not too long ago. So first off, my big interest, especially when I'm looking at doing these Fibonacci levels, is when we've gone past the all-time high here, I'm thinking, okay, where's this Fibonacci extension going to be, particularly that 127%. And so you can see from the negative 27, which is an interesting fib, I encourage you to give it a try, but we're not. Well, let me rephrase that. We are pretty far off, but looking on this daily chart, we're not too far off, and this looks like a big possibility. So like any way you look at it, this is a bullish overall trend. Now we pulling back a bit, but I think we're starting to gear up for leg number 2. Does that mean we might not get one more move to the downside here? No, I think that's possible. We have this 86.3 here, right? And we have a nice, pretty interesting base of support that we've broken down. Here is our move to the downside here. If we look at it from this angle, this looks pretty promising to be setting up for the next leg higher. Now we're looking at a daily chart here, so let's keep that in mind. If I'm going to a more short term, right here is our false breakout here, right? Big false breakout there. Typically what I would like to do is some sort of fanning type trim line situation, but we're not even here yet. So it's kind of irrelevant. So the big thing I noticed is that we're, well, basing here, right? It really looks this way. So now we go to the 4-hour. And look at this nice pullback here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe one more push lower and then to challenge these former highs up here. So now we'll be bouncing around in this range for a little bit, and I'll just take this out of the picture. I would like to note too, I really like the CCI here because it's really like gives most of these indicators very lagging. CCI likes to give you a little bit of a heads up, and you can see this touch right here. I wouldn't rule out one more move to this 1800 level. And then a big move higher. Of course, it's 1872. That's a long ways away right off the bat. So in the near term, something around here, okay? And so now we're looking at the 1 hour. This could be within the next week if this base of support here holds. And then long term, on these immediate highs here, we'd be looking to for our target, okay? So remove that Fibonacci here. And so this is kind of what we're looking at, as simple as it is. One push down, second push, and now I think we're gearing up before that one last leg. Maybe a push off and a bounce. Anything along these lines and some sort of accumulation here, and then before we really break out and take off. And once we do that, right, we have this level here, which is the former high. Oh, excuse me, let me go out to this daily chart. This is the former all-time high here. Sorry, I know I'm boring you a little bit. Stick with me. Stick with me. But once this happens, it's not going to happen Monday, but I think this is a very likely scenario. We challenge these highs, and then, you know, next stop, without a doubt, is this around 2160, which is 127% extension. Now, this is going to be a major level, because this was the extension of the all-time high here to this low and this big accumulation phase here. So now we are making it another area. We've made a big move up, accumulating down here, and gearing up for what I believe the next move to challenge this 127% extension. And the dollar looks like it could gain some strength in the upcoming weeks, but I don't think this is going to take too long to play out. And in the meantime, could provide some really good opportunity for those of you that are scalpers out there, or maybe have been through my scalping program. If you're interested in that, click the link below. This will be a great opportunity to bust out a smaller moving average and really get some really good gains on the way up here. So that being said, that's what I'm looking at on gold. Let's check out silver. Same deal. I'm going to move through this one a little bit faster. Let's just give it a clean slate here. Now, this is an interesting chart, because just how I showed you that all-time high there on gold, which we've already challenged, we still haven't gotten anywhere close to challenging that on silver. And I think it's going to be playing catch up here really soon, especially with what I started this video off with. Okay, so here's our wedge. I vividly remember this false breakdown here. Now remember, a false breakdown typically leads to a breakout. So here is our false breakdown. There's a false breakdown here. And now we've hit another big rally up, accumulation. Of course, this spike here was the whole Wall Street bets situation that happened not too long ago. But I think it's important, just like I did on gold. Let's take an all-time high Fibonacci to this low. This is the false breakdown point, and of course this would be the low before the false breakdown, which might be a little bit more accurate. Either way, we still a long way to go before we start to hit these levels, and of course we'll be really on a long-term scale targeting these areas up here. Okay, so here we are. That's a long ways away from where we are now, but on the other side of that, I just showed you the gold chart, right? Here we are. We haven't even broken this 38.2. The gold, we are already, I'm just go to weekly. We are, or here's 3-day chart. We've already broken out and are approaching the 127% extension. And in silver, we haven't even got past that area yet. So, I mean, are we just going to take off straight off from here, fill up this wick and go on, or are we going to get some sort of pullback first? Obviously, I would love to get a nice dip first, right? And then maybe a pullback lower somewhere around, you know, this area right here would be absolutely fantastic, or even lower. You know, of course, 19, which I don't think is going to happen. But if, in fact, we get some dollar strength come in the market, that would be amazing. And that would just be an excellent buying opportunity for silver. Because, like I said, you just have to watch from where we're going and where we're at now and where gold's been, and really, like, if this were to happen, which, like I said, I don't think it will, even if we retest the support here, it's going to be a long way up to this 86.3, 78, 61.8, and a lot of opportunities in between. So these are some big plays. These could be some life-changing trades, but be sure you get your entries here. You can get buried with some drawdown in gold and especially silver. So you want to make sure your entries are on point and that your risk management is super tight. So, all right, last but not least, let's take a look at oil here. And we had this massive, obviously, if you've been trading this year or last year, you remember when oil went down to zero. So here we are in the rebound phase of this, and this is a pretty interesting breakout move that we had. Across here, break down, and a lot of traders, I'm sure, got short here at this confluence. This X marks the spot, which would have been a pretty good setup. But now we are rallying much higher, and I'm thinking this imbalance here, this improper price action, looks pretty which are starting to fill out here, but maybe the top of this candle, which is going to be setting up for a good risk to reward of above 5 to 1. And so these are the levels I'm looking for, some sort of exhaustion to create a nice level of resistance here before potentially getting a pullback. And then it's oil, it is going to be a matter of time before. Same deal, we retest these extensions. Don't forget about the power of Fibonacci extensions, and also remembering the fact that these are supply and demand markets. So that being said, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you got a lot of this video. Now the lighting sucks in here right now because it's super late at night. But I wanted to make sure I got this out to you all. click the link below to get started in our group, whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced. You want to learn my gold scalping. It works for really any asset. Works really well for gold, silver. GJ is one of my favorites. It's $7, so you can join that now if you'd like. And if you want my help and my coaching and my mentoring to get you funded with $100,000 of outside capital to trade with, I can do that too. So it just depends where you're at in the game. Click into my groups, message me, let me know what's up, and I'll be sure to help you. So have an awesome weekend. Have a great Valentine's Day, and I'll see you in my VIP chat room. Peace.